Hello everyone, I am Taureor and welcome back to Europa Universalis IV Guides. This is a short follow-up episode on my Portugal and Castile ones. This will deal with the Treaty of Tordesillas, and I will try to answer all the questions I got about that thing. So, I have started the game as Portugal, and using console commands I've set myself up with super huge technologies and ideas and stuff and money, so that I can colonize two colonial regions simultaneously and show you if and what happens if the Treaty of Tordesillas triggers. So we currently have colonies in two regions that are about to be completed. We have 3 complete colonies and 2 almost complete colonies in the Caribbean, which will give us a colonial nation there soon. And in Brazil, I have delayed that a little bit. It will be a little bit later here, but we will also get a colonial nation very soon. And for the amazing colonial growth, well, that comes from high technology and ideas and stuff, which I used console commands to get, so that it wouldn't take so much time to show the Treaty of Tordesillas. Now, again, what is it? It's a special colonial bonus you get when you colonize a colonial region. It becomes your colonial nation, and you have good relations with the Pope. Now, one of the questions was if the relations with the Pope need to be over 0, as I said, or over 50, as the wiki says. I might be wrong, so I set up 2 colonial nations. We're going to complete one of them when our relations are at 25, and then we're going to ally the Pope, which will bump our relations over 50. And we'll see which is the correct way, because I seem to remember it needed to be over 0. Okay. And then when we get the Treaty of Tordesillas, I will show you exactly what it does. We're at speed 5, obviously. And I've had questions about it as well. How do I make it go so fast on speed 5? That only depends on the speed of your computer. Because speed 5 is uncapped, basically. It goes as fast as the game can make it go. Okay, so this is about to complete and create a colonial nation. Colony self-sustaining. Here. Oh, and the 4th here. Wonderful. Okay, and now we have 4 complete provinces here, and this is still a colony in Brazil. And in the Caribbean, we have 5 complete colonies. Now, when the next month ticks, we will get a colonial nation and hopefully Treaty of Tordesillas, unless I was wrong with the relations with the Pope mechanic. Again, it only works for Catholics, remember that. Oh, yes, we did get Treaty of Tordesillas. The Pope affirms our legal right to colonial Caribbean. Our other Catholic countries will no longer have a legal right to take territory here, and our colonies will grow quicker. As you saw, our relations with the Pope were 25. So, our relations only need to be above 0. They don't need to be 50, we don't need to be allied with them. It only needs to be above 0. I think I have just showed that. In the current version of the game, in the title of the video, you have the version of the game it relates to. I can further check that by insulting the Pope. See, now our relations are minus 25. So now, we already have the Treaty of Tordesillas, and it stands. Now, we will complete the 2nd colonial region with our relations negative and show you that it won't trigger. But for now, what does the Treaty of Tordesillas do? Well, first of all, if I send a colonist here, the colony will grow quicker, and it relates to the whole colonial region. You can check it using the colonial region map mode. So I'll now send the colonist here and show you that he will make the colonies grow faster. Don't worry about those things. Okay, let's return to the normal view. Here's the colony. Now, as when you look at that, you see the bottom part is plus 10 from Treaty of Tordesillas. So, I mean, I have lots of bonuses because this is a cheated game. I have used console commands to get super high technology. However, it doesn't change the fact that Treaty of Tordesillas has an impact. At the very bottom of the list, you have plus 10 colonial growth from Treaty of Tordesillas. It can be quite significant. However, I would recommend that if you already claim a colonial region, you move to a different one and try to claim it before anybody else does. Now, what it also does to others, not just us, it discourages other countries from colonizing the region we have claimed. If the country is Catholic, it only works on Catholics. If we change our religion to Protestant, for example, we will lose the bonuses. So for colonizers, it's usually not worth it to change religions from Catholic. What else? If, let's say, Spain wants to colonize in the Caribbean, let's say they send their colonist here, that will have three results. The basic one being, of course, they will establish a colony, but there will also be two negatives related to the Treaty of Tordesillas. First of all, they will get a -50 relations penalty with the Pope, so that impacts them in not being able to establish their own colonial dominance in other regions if they do it too many times, and it stacks for each colony. If they send 3 colonists, that will be -150. It ticks down, but it takes time. That's one thing. And the other is, they would get -10 to colonial growth in that whole region, in that colony. Which is significant early on in the game, where every bit helps quite a lot. So now we have seen the benefits of the Treaty of Tordesillas. Now, when you're playing single player, it really matters, because, as I have claimed Brazil and the Caribbean right now, it is very unlikely any other colonizers will send any of their guys to those regions, because they have a hard-coded reluctancy to violate the Treaty of Tordesillas. Now, if you claim all the regions, and they have nowhere to go, they will start colonizing your stuff, but not before they run out of options. So, for example, if you play Spain and claim those areas first, then Portugal will instead go and colonize Africa, because they won't be able to do anything here. I mean, Portugal usually goes to colonize Africa, but they split their efforts between South America and Africa, usually. If you claim South America as someone else, then they'll just focus on Africa, and they won't interfere with you. And that goes for all Catholic countries. That is very, very helpful in establishing colonial dominance. Okay, now let's see what happens when you create a colonial nation while having negative relations with the Pope. Let's unpause the game. Relations -25, and it will take some time. Okay, now we just wait for this colony to complete. As you see, my colonial growth is amazingly high, so it won't take long. I think there's a colonial command to create a colony in a region, but I'm not sure if it won't break the Treaty of Tordesillas, so let's just wait. And again, if you're curious how I made my technology and points and money so high, then just go to the wiki and check console commands, but remember, they only work in non-Ironman games, so you can't get any achievements, which is fine, because it's basically cheating, but it's useful for sandbox experimentation like I'm doing now. Or if you just want to create your vision of the world and don't care about game mechanics. Okay, this is about to complete. Let's check on our relations with the Pope. The game's a little bit gritty because I am at speed 5 and it is... Alright, here we go. Colony self-sustaining, para. We have created Portuguese Brazil as a colonial nation, and surprise, surprise, no Treaty of Tordesillas. This region is not claimed by anyone, because Treaty of Tordesillas requires positive relations with the Pope. Now, let's do one more thing. Let's send him a gift, bring our relations over 0, now it's +8, and see if the treaty can trigger retroactively. So, do we need to have the points at the moment of creating the colonial nation, or do we just need to, if we have the option to get the treaty later? The Treaty of Tordesillas. The Pope affirms our legal right to colonial Brazil. So, as we just saw, we still got the Treaty of Tordesillas, even though at the moment of creating the colony, we had negative relations with the Pope. That means the Pope will always recalculate the Treaty of Tordesillas at the beginning of a month. So, if you create a colonial nation and have negative relations with the Pope, you don't have to worry about that. You can just increase the relations afterwards and still get it. as long as nobody beats you to it. Because, let's say we have 5 colonies here, and Castile has 5 colonies here, and and we both have negative relations with the Pope, then whoever first gets to the positives will get the treaty, and the other colonizer will be in trouble. Now, when the treaty triggers, and there are, for example, 2 colonizers in the region, the one that doesn't get the treaty doesn't get any penalties like negative relations with the Pope for the existing colonies, but he will get penalties for the new ones they create. Sometimes it's worth it, it depends. You can, if you get screwed by Treaty of Tordesillas and well, you don't get an advantage on that, but someone else beats you to it in many regions, and you would like to forfeit it whatsoever, then you need to switch religions, for example, to Reformed, or then you will, or Protestant, then you will not have to worry about that. The Treaty of Tordesillas bonuses only and penalties only apply to Catholic nations. So, for example, if France went Protestant and started colonizing here, they wouldn't get any negative bonuses or bad relations with the Pope. Negative bonuses. Penalties, yeah. Or malices. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any other questions about the Treaty of Tordesillas or colonization in general, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Sorry, I am a little bit tongue twisted today. Then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and there will be more guide videos coming. The next one will probably be one of the Balkan states here, because they have been requested quite a lot, but I'll have to test them in the current version of the game, so it might take me some time. I might make a different video in the meantime with a country that I know everything about. Well, not everything, but everything I need to know for the purpose of the game, because that will be easier. In the meantime, I will research some of the Balkan countries and maybe make guides on them. Right, thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy that and it was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.